Steve Moneghetti. We're here at the home of running in Ballarat, which is Lake Wnedouree. Bit of a windy day out there today.
Oh yeah, we always put on a terrible day because it's such a beautiful city. We don't want you outsiders knowing how good it is here, so we put on a terrible day for you. But it was actually, if you're ever going to have a wind, you want it through the gardens, so it was actually as good as it can get on a windy day.
You were out there on the bike a bit today, a hard slog?
Yeah, it was hard into the wind, but I enjoyed it. You know, I get to see a few of the guys and girls sort of down the pack, and then I can speed up and see what's happening up the front end. I've got a bit of a dodgy calf. You know, I'd obviously rather be out there running, but that wasn't happening. So it was actually it's a good course to ride. I'm surprised more people don't ride it because it's a great way of watching what's happening.
We're trying to get more of the recreational runners here too. We put a bit of a charge this year to get them, and we got a few in, but hopefully next year we can really sort of sell that message in Ballarat. This is actually a good race to do. Yeah,
and I think, you know, having the road closures, that's the thing for us. A lot of the runs around the lake are actually on the path, which, you know, not road closed. So to have the roads closed brings a new aspect. And, you know, I remember even when I was running here, I ran through the gardens on the road, and I've never been able to do that before. So it's quite unique for Ballarat people. And once, you know, they realise the added advantage of running on the road, and you know, it's obviously it's a quality event. You're running with some of the best runners in Australia, some of the best in the world. So I think that could be a nice angle to get a few rec runners running as well, which would be nice.
Now, obviously last year was a bit of an oops with the last minute change in course, went a bit long, so some world record attempts went by the wayside. This year, course is a little bit more accurate, but we've still got a bit of work to do. But next year we're going to be bang on that 15k, which is always important, isn't it?
I think it is. You know, today the one thing I liked about the wind was it allowed people to race, and sometimes people are so time conscious that, you know, and even I was a bit precious last year. At the end of the day, it's, you know, it's a race, and if you get out and run hard, then you worry about the time. So I'm less conscious of the distance. You know, 15k is a nice, good round distance, unfortunately, and people will be conscious of that. They'll know what their PB is. I think the most important thing is consistency. So we lock it in, you get a course, it's 15k, and then we just leave it at that, and then people compare year on year with their time from last year, and that's as much of a gauge for me personally. You race on the day, conditions are what they are, but then you've ran hard.
Yeah, we're sort of getting that with the Albert Park race now. That 10k down at Albert Park is really proving itself as a good and probably fast 10k in Australia, and hopefully the 15k now we can establish that tradition. We've been up here for probably 10 years now, but you know, the future is looking bright for the Lake Wnedouree 15k.
Oh, that's great to hear from us. It doesn't seem like 10 years, but I'm assuming you'd know more than me, Tim. But time goes quickly, and you know, it's obviously, you know, we love our distance running here in Ballarat. I'm hoping you get good support for the event. Certainly, we love having it here, and you know, I think Melbourne people and Victorians love coming here, even though they know the weather's going to be challenging. I think they enjoy running here, so I think it complements each other. It's good for athsvic, it's good for Ballarat, it's good for the running scene here, so it's a win-win.
Now, exciting time for Australian athletics as we move towards the Commonwealth Games 2018 in Gold Coast. And we just talked to Liam about the depth of the men's marathoning. Now, has been a bit patchy of late, hasn't it, in the men's team?
Yeah, it has. I'd be honest, you know, to say I think that's the transition we're coming through. I'm excited. I reckon we're close, and hopefully Commonwealth Games, obviously being here on the Gold Coast, will encourage people to take up that option. The roll down this week that we saw has been fantastic for getting a lot more distance runners there. You know, we've got Vic Mitchell, Stewie McSwain, locals from here. So I think that will really help. And if your depth's in the distance events, and you're looking at someone like Stewie McSwain runs 13:19 for 5k, misses out. So, you know, does he push out to the 10k? Does he run the steeple? And do we get him then maybe looking at, you know, a marathon not far down the track? So, yeah, that's what you want if you've got that depth. I'm really excited by what's happening. Obviously, my involvement at Com Games, not only athletics but all sports, but that will really, I think, give them a bit of a reason to, you know, to get motivated. So I think things are looking good. And the women, aren't they? Women are going great at the moment. You know, great results in the last couple of years, showing us men up, and you know, obviously that's a great thing to have, and that will be complemented at Commonwealth Games. And Tokyo, in our hemisphere, things are right, so I think the environment's pretty well set.
Yeah. We used the word aspirational before because the targets and the standards that AAF set are now aspirational for so many runners, aren't they?
They are, yeah, and I think that's an encouragement. And you know, you're seeing more qualifiers than team spots. How good is that? That makes it competitive. You know, you used to just run the qualifying, you'd pack your bag, zip it up, ring AA and say, you know, where's my ticket? whereas now you know that it's so competitive. You're not just got to run the qualifying time, you've got to be better than that. So and that's encouraging, you know, certainly a more inclusive and competitive teams on men's and women's, which is great for the sport, I reckon.
Yeah, we're seeing the girls are certainly pushing each other, and you know the standard probably a while ago was 2:34, 2:35. Now it's basically sub 2:30 to get into that marathon team. That's a pretty healthy place to be, isn't it?
It is, and you know we were probably seeing that the girls were happy running 2:35, whereas now, you know, you talk to the girls and they're not. They know, you know, Virginia Maloney 2:29, and thinking, well, that's good, but you know I can run faster and want to run faster. So, and that's what we need. You know, the men have kind of, I think it's getting there. We're sort of looking at, you know, that 2:11 to 2:14. Well, we need to get, you know, you need to be 2:8s. You know, we're running 2:8s. It's, I don't know how long. It's a long time, 25 years ago now. So, you know, you need to get on that next plane, and we just need to push them in. And it's a psychological thing. It's like breaking two. Once someone does it, there'll be 4 or 5 will do it. So once we get another male under 2:10, it'll just open the floodgates, and you know we'll see it really develop quickly.
Now, obviously, you've been involved with the AV events for a long time. We're both heading into our mid-50s. Yep. The depth that we're producing still in Victoria is pretty good, though, isn't it? Yeah,
well, we're the home. You know, we love to think that we're the home of Australian distance running, and you know, I think we struggled a little bit, and you know, it's a compliment to you, and certainly the way athsvic have, you know, been willing to change and adapt and understand differing people's needs. You know, I think it's really flourishing again. It's a credit to you guys and the work that you've put in to encourage people to come. It feels a lot more inclusive now. I'm noticing a lot of, you know, what used to be the 3-hour marathon, you know, those guys are now, and girls are 4-hour marathon runners. So we need to understand that people are out there. So starting, you know, allowing a group to start early, you know, you've got to have that capacity now. It's a sport for everybody, and we know that. And whilst there's an elite aspect to it, it's really, you know, it's a mass participation sport, and we should really always be aware of the needs of those people.
Well, you've been a great ambassador in Ballarat, in Victoria and right across Australia, and thank you for your support once again today, Mona.
No worries, Tim. Love it. Obviously, I'm passionate about distance running. It's great to have you here in my home, and another successful day. Well done.